going to jump over to something else, because I remember in a video, in an interview, you spoke about some other experience you had with some entities, dark entities. And I found that a bit interesting, because you said that darker entities, may be latching onto people who have a low vibration. And I just thought about my own depression in my 20s, why it took me so long to get out of it. And if I would have raised my vibration, you know, that it could go faster, that perhaps I had also some negative entities that were keeping me down. And I think it's an important topic, because I think sometimes we let ourselves be sort of in a sort of darkness, be in that victim mentality, because we have a secondary gain by being there. You know, you don't have to really pull yourself together and believe in yourself, and when you believe in yourself, you can be disappointed again. People can reject you. So there are consequences with that. So sometimes it is a bit comfortable for the ego to be a bit low in energy, right? So I would love to speak a little bit about that, if you would like to share that experience you had and why you think you experienced that.
Sure. So I'm not exactly certain which experience you are referring to, because I have several with entities. It's my colleagues refer to me as the entity queen. Not sure I want that name, but for a while there, they were showing up in my practice a lot. And not only in my practice, I had a couple of experiences personally with entities. So my first kind of taste with them was happening when I was having all of those mystical experiences. I woke up one night in my bedroom, but my eyes weren't open. It was my third eye that was open, but I was totally aware and lucid. And next to my bed was this probably about 12-foot being with a long robe. This being felt loving and good, and very, very much from a higher dimension. And then I looked towards the foot of my bed, and there were these two shadow beings that scared me to death. And so I think that was my first experience with entities. I had also personally an experience when I was going through treatment that I do believe may have been an entity leaving me. And this was wild. This was well before my spiritual awakening, and I really had no idea what an entity even was. But I, again, was kind of woken up in the middle of the night, and I was given the most loving feeling. I was hanging out in pure white light. The love of God is all I can describe it as. Just absolute ecstasy. It felt like I was going to explode with love. And it felt like I was there for a good little while. And then immediately it was like that feeling was ripped from me. And I got the feeling that something was trying to, all I can describe it as is suck the soul out of me. It was dark, and it was just this feeling of something robbing me of my essence. And at this point, I was gasping for air. You know, when you're having a nightmare and you're trying to scream, but nothing's coming out, that's what was happening. Finally, someone heard me stirring and they woke me up. But I do believe, because I was, on the path of getting better, that may have been an entity that was leaving me. It knew time was up, and so perhaps it was, resisting it. But fast forward to in my practice, I have had experiences with entities where I go to put someone into hypnosis. For instance, in parts therapy, we were getting ready to connect with a part, and instead of a part of the client coming forward to speak, it was clear that this was an entity. And it was a very scary entity. So it's not a fun thing to talk about, but it is a real phenomenon. And so, yes, entities are attracted to lower vibrational thoughts, and people with addictions and alcoholisms. It's even said that addictions can actually create tears in your aura, which allows for those energies to kind of come into your space and latch onto your energetic field. Sometimes they're actually loved ones that have passed on, but they didn't quite get the memo that it was time to cross over for whatever reason. Sometimes people believe that they're going to go to hell, so they don't cross over. They don't follow the light because their belief system is, I'm going to go to hell. And so they do anything to stay here. And so sometimes they can actually latch on to humans. But, you know, and I say all this not to instill fear in anyone, because we can all, you know, work on our personal vibration and tend to our thoughts to ensure that that doesn't happen. Because the truth is, you know, if you work on yourself and you work on these shadow parts of yourself and you work on raising your vibration and healing, you're not going to be a match for these energies. But it is a real phenomenon. It's a real thing. And I've helped them cross over. So I've had many people that had an attachment, and I actually spoke to the entity and got them to cross over into the light. And it was miraculous, because some of these clients had life-changing experiences after that. One woman had insomnia for 25 years. And we get to a breathwork session and come to find out that there was an entity attached to her. And so we released it, and she texted me the next day that she slept like a baby that night. So it's a wild thing and kind of scary to talk about it, but it is a real phenomenon.
To watch the full video, click the link below, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.